all the things that people fear in New York City and another terrorist attack. And they just wouldn't do it. It's a new leader. They don't want to look flat-footed. So I take that at face value from the New York Police Department. So it means that it was purposeful. The video cameras will likely show movement of a person to or close to the dumpster or the area. They are now, it takes a while to do forensics on a device, but I always say this in an emergency, in any disaster, you kind of want to wait a few minutes. Don't say anything, especially for leadership. Don't say anything that gets too far in front.
All right, Juliet, stand by. We're going to bring you back, but we got to get to something.
Juliet, thank you. Stay with us, please, with your expertise so critical at this hour. Our correspondent, though, Gene Casares, is on the ground there, right where that press conference wrapped up. And, Gene, we're now seeing this tweet from the NYPD's Counterterrorism Bureau noting the 29 injuries reported, but now saying for the first time one of those may be critical. One of those injuries may be critical, saying we remain on the scene. What else do you know?
What we heard at the press conference, they said it was very, very serious. We're right here on 23rd Street right now, and Mayor Bill de Blasio of New York City started out by saying that we've had a very serious incident tonight in New York City, and it is about 1 block away from me right now. I want you to look beyond me. This is an active crime scene, what you're looking at, 1 block away, and this is where the dumpster, the reciprocal, is that the explosion took place. Outside of it, they are now confirming. But they are processing the scene right now. They did confirm minutes ago that they have gotten video at that moment in time when that explosion took place. They are currently collecting more video. They are asking anyone that has any information, video, or being an eyewitness. They would not go so far as to say if there was a device involved, but that there was an explosion. They do say that they will continue to give updates through the night as they see exactly what it is that they can report. But it is an active crime scene. They did say they believed it was intentional, an intentional act. They do not believe at this point that there is any correlation at all with terrorism. No link, no threat to New York City, but they did confirm that just blocks from here, 27th, they are investigating another situation. Would not say exactly what that was. Does not appear an explosion went off, but all forces are in that area right now. But as we are standing right in the area 1 block away from where this happened, it is an active crime scene. There are many people still out tonight, New York City, Saturday night, people on the street corner. They can't get beyond the police tape, but they are not leaving to go about their business. They're standing here and they're waiting, as are all the emergency vehicles tonight, and there are many out here. Don, Poppy.
Thank you very much. I really appreciate it. So, Don Lemon, and as you heard from G, Don Lemon and Poppy Harlow here, we have just heard from New York City officials and Mayor Bill de Blasio, new police commissioner James O'Neill, updating us on this explosion in the Chelsea neighborhood down in Manhattan, 23rd Street to be specifically, and I believe the mayor said 131, right? Poppy?
Yes.
West 23rd Street. And here's what they told us. It said the headline is that the mayor says that there is no evidence of a terror connection at this point, because there is no link to a credible threat. He also said there is no known link to a similar incident, one that was in New Jersey earlier at a shore at a marathon. That happened earlier today. Poppy Harlow was covering that all evening here. They also are saying that this was definitely an intentional act, but the exact cause of the blast has not been determined, and they say the area is being treated as a crime scene property.
So we've also learned, and this is important, in the last half an hour or so, that a second site just 4 blocks away from this is also being investigated now.
That's really important.
The investigation is still underway at 27th Street between 6th and 7th Avenue. The NYPD, all of the other first responders and these agencies are at full alert. That includes the NYPD's anti-terrorism division, even though they said there is no nexus to terrorism at this time. We do have an updated number of injuries for you at this hour. We now know that 29 people were injured in this blast just a few hours ago on a busy Saturday night. One of those people, we're learning, may be in serious, possibly even critical condition. 24 of the injured taken to area hospital. Some of them we know to Bellevue Hospital on the east side of Manhattan. Some injuries minor, scrapes, cuts, etc. But again, at least one in what appears to be critical condition.
I think this takes it, especially since there is a second scene, Poppy, that we got confirmation from those officials. I mean, it takes it to a new level. If there is indeed a second scene, it could be that they know who the culprits are, and they may be at their, wherever they did it, or what have you. It doesn't mean necessarily that there's another explosive device, but we don't know. We don't want to speculate. Keep the speculation to a minimum here. As Poppy and I mentioned earlier, the President of the United States has been updated, made aware of the situation. So have both presidential candidates, Republican and Democratic candidates. And we know Donald Trump in Colorado Springs, before officials talked about what was going on, at least confirmed what was going on. He told a crowd there that an explosion happened in New York City, and that, we had to get better about it. And then we're also hearing now from Hillary Clinton. She spoke to the press on her plane. This was just moments ago. Here it is.
I've been briefed about the bombings in New York and New Jersey and the attack in Minnesota. Obviously, we need to do everything we can to support our first responders, also to pray for the victims. We have to let this investigation unfold. We've been in touch with various officials, including the mayor's office in New York, to learn what they are discovering as they conduct this investigation. And I'll have more to say about it when we actually know some facts.
Senator, did you have a reaction to the fact that Donald Trump immediately went to the station tonight, called the explosion in New York a bomb, and so that's the term?
Well, I think it's important to know the facts about any incident like this. That's why it's critical to support the first responders, the investigators who are looking into it, trying to determine what did happen. I think it's always wiser to wait until you have information before making conclusions, because we are just in the beginning stages of trying to determine what happened.
Are you concerned at all this time in New York City there is?
I'm just concerned about any kind of incident that happens anywhere in the country, and I think we should, again, withhold judgment until we know more about what happened, what the likely motivation might have been. Obviously, do everything we can to determine who was behind these incidents. I don't think it's time to think about anything besides that. No, it was not raised in my very short conversation with the president.
Do you think he's coordinated in any way?
I don't think we know, and I think it would not be appropriate to speculate until we do. Let's try to figure out as much as we can by having the experts and professionals go through this, try to determine what you have to in order to trace it back and then see. Thank you all.
Thank you.
That was moments ago. Hillary Clinton speaking to the press on her plane. As you can see, that was White Plains in New York, a suburb of New York City. But two very different responses here. Hillary Clinton urging caution, saying we don't know even if the two are connected. And I guess it may have been before the press conference, because they're saying they don't believe New Jersey and New York are connected at this point. She was asked about Donald Trump's response.
She was, and we know that Donald Trump, speaking in Colorado tonight, made a statement very early on, just shortly after the first reports of this explosion. We want to play that for you now.
I must tell you that just before I got off the plane, a bomb went off in New York, and nobody knows exactly what's going on. But boy, we are living in a time. We better get very tough, folks. We better get very, very tough.
Donald Trump speaking earlier tonight in Colorado Springs, Colorado. Don Lemon and I are with you covering this breaking news. 29 injured, one possibly critical after this big explosion in New York City in the Chelsea neighborhood. Errol Lewis of New York One News and Time Warner Cable News is with us. You cover New York inside and out, not just the politics, but also New York One. Your network is New York City.
And Chelsea Market.
And you happen to be based right there.
Can I
The responses.
The contrast of the responses. So you think, were they similar? Were they different?
No, very different, very different. I mean, I read how Hillary Clinton is trying to be sort of calm, show an air of command, an air of not wanting to jump to conclusions, knowing, I think, as she does, because she's been in the limelight for so long, that she's talking to millions and possibly tens of millions of people. And, you know, she knows what I've seen on social media, what I'm sure you're seeing in between as we're doing the work here, that there are rumors flying all over the place.
Right.
That there's coordinated terrorist attacks, that there's this and there's that. And it's so important not to sort of let those rumors fly. It's so important not to feed into hysteria. This is a relatively contained, thank God so far, situation where there's been no loss of life and it looks like everybody's got things under control. But, you know, you change the facts a little bit. This is how we end up in wars. This is how we end up making serious and grave mistakes. I mean, one interesting part of the briefing from a credible source, from the police commissioner, he said that the first responders